What is up, guys? We are live here. We are going to be talking about virtual wholesaling in this video. Basically, for a beginner, step by step, we're going to break down virtual wholesaling today. I'm going to try to give you all the secrets that I have so you can be the best real estate wholesaler possible. So, yes, we're going to go over virtual real estate mastery today. So, if you guys want, comment below your questions. I'd love to answer them. But really in this video, I'm going to do a breakdown really quickly of virtual wholesaling step by step. I love to update these because you can watch a bunch of like wholesaling virtual videos out there. And keep in mind, this is a live video, by the way. So answer your questions. I will answer them. But you see a virtual wholesaling video from 2 years ago. I'm telling you, virtual wholesaling changes almost on like a monthly basis now. And it's so important to really be in the up and up, I guess, in virtual wholesaling. So really wanted for a beginner's guide, got so many guys that just started into wholesaling, really trying to change their lives. So really going to break down exactly virtual wholesaling step by step. So what's up, guys? I really appreciate the comments on here. What is up? What is up? So let's get over it. Let's start getting into virtual wholesaling. So what is virtual wholesaling? So really quickly, we know what wholesaling real estate is. Wholesaling real estate is, again, is the art of finding, basically flipping paper. If that's the easiest way I can really explain it, you find a person who's motivated to sell a piece of real estate, let's say for $100,000. You just go meet them really quickly. Hey, are you interested in selling a property? You have a conversation. You write a contract, basically, hey, I'm agreed to buy this property for $100,000. And then what you do is you find someone, because obviously when I started this business, I had $0. I mean, I had $300, if I spent that all on my marketing, I had no money to buy the house. And I was 17 years old. So a 17-year-old kid can't go out here buying $100,000 houses. Like I had no money. And the property probably worth, let's say, $120,000. So what we would do in essence is find a cash buyer, probably someone who's looking to flip the piece of real estate or flip that property. And what I go is tell this guy, hey, I actually have an agreement with Sally Sue over here for 100,000. Actually, okay, so there's two ways to do it. So basically, for Sally Sue for $100,000, basically state, hey, John Smith, flipper, I have a piece of real estate here. How much would you want to sell it to me for? I want to sell it for 140. They come back, they say, Zach, we can give you 120. And sometimes you can say what you got under contract for, but then they can screw you over. So basically you could sell that for like 120. Make $20,000. So basically you have an assignment of contract there where you basically sell your contract to that guy for a profit, make around $20,000 in there. Boom, 20K. You didn't create anything. You did not make, like, wholesaling real estate. We don't make stuff. We make money out of magic. It's pretty fun. It's like day trading stocks, day trading real estate. It's the closest thing I could think to it. It's really, really interesting. People call it the pawn shop of wholesale. Wholesaling is like a pawn shop. It's not, because you're not buying the asset. You're making money out of nothing. It's absolutely literally the only thing you sell is a piece of paper that you literally printed out. Like, cost what, 20 cents to print? Like, it's absolutely one of the craziest things when I figured out wholesaling real estate, it changed my entire life. So overall, so we know wholesaling. So get a property under contract, sell that to a cash buyer. Cash buyer walks through, you sign the contract. Let's say make 20K. Bring that all A-okay with the title company. At closing date, you get a check, and you get $20,000 in that situation. Change your life forever. Boom, get the marketing, do it, repeat. Right. So what is virtual wholesaling real estate? So virtual wholesaling real estate is basically that same art, except you're not going out and meeting the seller in person. You're actually in your house on a computer with the internet. You need an internet connection. Do tell you that, but you can basically do this all through the internet. It's actually pretty crazy. So you could literally be in Bangladesh. You could literally be in Chile. You could basically be anywhere in the world, and you could be wholesaling real estate. And basically, let's go step by step on actually how to do this, how to pull the right virtual wholesaling list, especially in 2021, especially in the second quarter of 2021. And really what I think virtual wholesaling is going to be in the future, everything like that. So again, before we get into it, if you guys got any value out of this video, this live video we're doing, please smash that like button and subscribe. Helps the YouTube algorithm. So really quickly, smashing that like button. Yes, it's pink. I like pink. It's a cool color. So smash that like button and subscribe. It helps the YouTube algorithm. The more people that see this means the more people I get to help. I'm on a mission to help over, let's say 1,000 people. Let's make that a quick goal. Help over 1,000 people make $100,000 or more in wholesaling real estate without paying a mentor, without paying a guru, no wholesaling coaches out there, absolutely for free. That is my mission on this YouTube channel, and that is what I will do. I'm telling you right now, it will happen. And so the more you like and subscribe in this video, even the more you comment in this video, it helps the YouTube algorithm so I can help you. So that's basically it. So let's keep it going. So cool comments really quick. Best channel overall. Thank you. Loving you guys do stuff like this. What's up, big dog? What's up? What's up, man? Let's go, Zach. We need chat, man. Great, valuable stuff. Sweet, sweet, sweet. Let's go. Let's go. So let's get into it. Virtual wholesaling step by step. So I kind of explained virtual wholesaling, but really we need to understand. So what is the type of marketing we need to do in virtual wholesaling? So marketing basically is the way we find these motivated sellers. So again, a motivated seller is someone who's willing to sell the property for a discount. There's a multitude of reasons why someone will want to do this. Usually a job change, a divorce. I've dealt properties where the actual tenants have trashed it like crazy. I actually have a closing tomorrow, and I don't go on closings, but I wanted to go there and actually shoot a video on this. It's going to be insane. That video will probably be released in like a month or something, but it's crazy. So many situations. I've done fire burnt houses, probate situations where someone unfortunately passes away and maybe the son or daughter lives out of state. They just want to get rid of the property. It's been in utter junk disarray. Hoarders houses. I mean, you get the gist. These are motivated sellers. They're motivated to sell it, and they're willing to give up equity in exchange for a quick cash sale. And really like a pawn shop or a used car dealership, more or less, if that makes sense. So basically, it's the best way to put this is, let's say I'm trying to sell a property, I just sell a car with a pawn shop, and I know I'm going to sell it for a little less, but I don't have to deal with putting it on the market. I don't do the VIN numbers. I don't understand all that stuff. I just want to get ready to get a quick cash. That's kind of what we do in wholesaling real estate, except we don't buy the car. We put a contract on the car more or less and try to sell that car to a car collector or, like a mechanic or something like that. I'm trying my best analogies on here, and that is actually my point here today. So basically, really quickly, so who am I? I'm Zach Ginn. If we've never met, you randomly saw this crazy kid on a live just talking about wholesaling. I'm a 7-figure wholesaler out of Port St. Lucie, Florida. Been wholesaling for about 4 years, started $300, turned that into a 7-figure wholesaling business. Together, me and Rick, we own the largest wholesaling operation in the Treasure Coast, the Treasure Coast, and then we also do South Florida also. So really excited to be on here. Love hearing from new people. And so to find these motivated sellers for virtual wholesaling real estate, how do we find them? There is a multitude of marketing strategies, more or less. That's what I call them, that you can go out here and find these motivated sellers. So what are these marketing strategies? So basically the best ways to do things virtually, because remember, we're doing this all from the computer. We'll get the contract signed on the computer. We'll actually have our phone with us where we can actually go and try to find motivated sellers, call them on the phone, get them to sign the contracts on the computer. You don't have to meet someone in person. It's really exciting stuff. So the best ways, in my opinion, especially when you're starting out, we're going to go over how to do this actually with no money and with money also. So really quick, if you guys can, let me know if you hear my voice. I just want to make sure the volume's working well on this if you can. And also comment below what market you're in and what virtual markets you think is interesting. I'll break those down for you too. So to find a motivated seller, you can do multiple things. So cold calling is one of the best ways actually to find motivated sellers for virtual wholesaling. Again, you want to be more or less doing marketing where people are open to, getting a contract or signing a contract over the computer. Some type of stuff, it's not the best. Direct mail is a lot harder to do it versus cold calling. You're basically already on the phone. You've already built the rapport on the phone. It's a lot easier to do. So I prefer cold calling for virtual wholesaling real estate. The way to do cold calling for virtual wholesaling real estate is basically you pull a list, and we'll break down a little bit more on the lists a little later. But basically, cold calling is one of my favorite ones out there. SMS text blasting, one of the absolute best for virtual wholesaling real estate, and RVMs. So those are really the marketing channels that I'm going to say that you can do it. Some of them are paid for, some aren't. Again, in Florida, RVMs are basically illegal, so I don't recommend it in Florida, but I digress more or less here. So let's go pop this on. So, what are the best lists for virtual wholesaling real estate? Again, I'm going to break down some of the free ones, some of the more paid ones. So, basically, my favorite virtual wholesaling list, especially for 2021, is going to be the vacants. And I got some videos coming in the pipeline, guys. This is live. Right now, if you're watching this live, that video isn't out, but I had the ultimate vacant wholesaling guide. It's coming, guys. Don't even fret about that. So, vacant list for virtual wholesaling real estate, one of the best ones out there. I absolutely love vacants. Truly, it's amazing. So a vacant property basically is a not absentee owner. It's a little different. This is basically no one's in the property. The U.S. Postal Service has deemed this. They put like a little slip in there. In Florida, it's like a green slip, and basically say, hey, this person's not answering the mail. No one's at this house, and they just put them on a special list. And back in the day, you could not even get these type of lists. These are like a list of dreams. You'd have to marry a postal worker to get this type of stuff, or you have to be a charity or a nonprofit, 5013C, whatever the nonprofit ones are called. And basically, that's how you get that list. And it was actually kind of crazy how you did it. And basically, there's some services out there for like a cent a record. You can pull these type of lists, and they are absolute killer. And they're the real deal. That's all I could say without that. And the next one here is tax delinquency. I absolutely love tax delinquencies. With listrei.com, you can pull vacants and tax delinquencies also. Basically, people who are behind on their taxes. If they're not paying their taxes, they're probably not taking good care of the property, and they'd be open to a cash sale on the property so they could sell it. So that's why I love tax delinquents for virtual wholesaling real estate. They're pretty amazing. So with the crazy current situation with the pandemic, more or less, tax delinquencies have been a little crazier. But overall, I think they're an absolute amazing list, one of the best ones out there. So how to do virtual wholesaling for free. So this is more or less a little free guide for you guys out here doing virtual wholesaling for free. So if you're watching this, like you live in Brazil, you can absolutely do this business for free. If you're watching this video on YouTube, which means you have a Google account, that means you can virtually wholesale absolutely for free, make $20,000 next month doing it. There's no gimmicks. Again, with wholesaling real estate, especially virtual wholesaling real estate, it looks like it's a Ponzi scheme. Like, hey, how are you making all this money doing it? Is this like drop shipping where I got to put $5,000 or $10,000 into like wholesaling education, and then I got to put all this crazy work in, and then I got to put $10,000 in Facebook ad marketing? It's none of this. You can do it for absolutely for free. But what you have to pay in exchange for this is sweat equity. You have to put in your effort. You have to put in probably more important. You have to put in the most important thing a human can possibly have. Not the amount of money they have, but the most important asset for people is time. You got to put in your time. You got to put your effort in this stuff, and you will get the fruits of your rewards. But it's tough. And I'm telling you right now, this is not an easy business. If you learn how to crack the code on it, you could make hundreds of thousands, 7 figures in wholesaling, and the sky's the limit. So virtual wholesaling for free. The only really way to do the marketing there is through cold calling. Again, cold calling is basically you got a phone number, and you're going to call that phone number. Probably someone, maybe they passed away, or you're calling like a landlord list or a for sale by owner list. And you're basically calling the owner and seeing if they're open to a cash sale, or if they're open to just selling the property outright. And then you have a conversation, talk about qualifying the seller, seeing if they're actually a good lead or not. Trust me, in this video, I got it all for you. So stay tuned. Don't even worry about it. But basically with cold calling, more or less, that's the best way to do it for free. You got to pay for SMS text blasting. You got to pay for RVMs. So cold calling is probably the best one to do on there. So to get a phone number, again, you don't want to use your personal phone number for cold calling, especially when you do it for free. I just like to keep things separate. So if you get a Google Voice, they'll set up voicemails, call forwarding. You can track KPIs. Absolute amazing service. And the best part about the service is it's absolutely free. And so now we know we got to use Google Voice to do cold calling. How do we get the list though? Because vacants are 1 cent, you said, Zach. So it's going to cost some money to do. So don't worry about that. So basically what's next here is probates. Probate's absolutely one of the best lists. It's actually absolutely for free, and it's pretty interesting. So really quickly, let me just go test here for 5 seconds, making sure we got volume on here, because I do this every single live. because I am paranoid that the voice isn't working. But probate's absolutely one of my favorite ones out there, absolutely for free. All right. It's working. Perfect. So yes, so probates, you get that from the courthouse. Literally go to the clerk of the court. You can actually pull probates online for free. And if you say, hey, my actual city, county doesn't do probates, I have to physically go there, then go to a different one. It's virtual. Do it from your computer. That's basically it. Simple as that. And the next step here is once you pull the probates, you're basically going to the clerk of the court and find all the deceased people, unfortunately passed away. There's heirs on there. What you do is go to the county property appraiser, sometimes called the property assessor site, and you'll search the person that unfortunately passed away. And then from there, there's property probably associated with that. You're going to put it in a Google Excel list. And then what we're going to do is find the person's phone number, and we're going to call the heirs to the property. So if the mother died, we'll call the daughter, see if they're open to a cash sale on that piece of real estate. And one of the best things to do is called skip tracing. That's how we find the phone numbers. And if you want to do it absolutely for free, I recommend truepeoplesearch.com. Truepeoplesearch.com is the only website that I have found that you get the best phone numbers possible for absolutely for free. It's a lot of work to do, and it's better to pay for it when you got the money. But starting out when you have no money at all in your virtual wholesaling business, it was such a godsend for me. It was absolutely amazing. So truepeoplesearch.com, truepeoplesearch.com is one of the best ones out there for finding free phone numbers. I love it so much. So next one here is if we're going to pull the list. So if we're actually going to pay for those vacants, those absentee owner leads, really got tax delinquency, do eviction, do water shutoff lists. I recommend listrei.com. Listrei.com is a 7-day free trial to that service. They'll give you all those leads for free for 7 days. And then after that, I think it's like a cent a record. So pretty good. I mean, I think ListSource is like 20 cents a record. So listrei.com is the website for that. And then if you want to get into skip tracing and SMS, just go to smszach.com if you want to pay for the skip tracing and you want to do SMS text blasting. On smszach.com, you get 500 texts for $1. Be absolute insanely cheap. So it's like $20 worth of texting you get for $1. You can test it out if you want. That's what I like. So for acquisitions, so we're going to get in this part really quick. So the acquisitions process for virtual wholesaling real estate is a lot different than the acquisitions process for wholesaling real estate. And wholesaling, as you probably guys know, can be as complicated or as simple as you want it to be. Wholesaling, basically, you meet with a guy who's looking to sell a property or a gal who's just looking to sell the property for cash. Simple as that, right? And you go sign a contract, and then you sell that contract, and you make a profit. Sounds simple, right? I can get in the nitty-gritty of sales and acquisitions with you in this video, and then it's going to be like a 5-hour video. So the acquisitions process for wholesaling real estate, it's fun. That's the only way I can say it. It's like any sales job. You're selling yourself, you're selling your services, and you're trying to get a contract. You have competition. You have so many people out there just trying to get into wholesaling real estate that you got to compete with them. And sometimes it's fun. Sometimes it's a friendly competition. But for acquisitions and wholesaling real estate, you got to be really good with talking to people. You got to be really good at connecting with people. I recommend the Ford method really quick. I'll talk about that a little later. But for acquisitions, you need to absolutely sell the seller that your service is the best one out there. You can provide a solution for that seller and help them in their wholesaling real estate situation. And the virtual part of it, so basically the one you do in person is you actually meet the seller, you go to their house, you physically shake hands and you talk and you get a contract signed right there. Usually you go to the kitchen table, you negotiate, hey, John, Sally, how much do you need to get out of the property? You talk about it, you get the best price possible. For virtual wholesaling real estate, tad different. We're doing this all on the computer, all on our cell phones, and it's a little different. It's a lot more awkward. As you know, communication is way better in person versus over the phone. You can't really get the body language, or really it's just so much different. So you can't really get the same thing done over a Zoom. So basically, it's a little tougher. Sometimes your margins are a little lower, but sometimes you get crazy margins on it. So for the acquisition side on virtual wholesaling, I recommend you get it all done on the phone. My way to do it is basically you have someone who's looking to sell the property, you qualify them, you ask the 4 questions we're going to talk about later, And then from there, we're going to see, hey, how much do you need to get rid of this property for? And they get a price, like they say, let's say $120,000. Hey, I can't really do that. I mean, you just kind of think, hey, can you do 80? And then you talk, negotiate there, get the best price possible. So from there, you basically get something signed on .loop, DocuSign, and go from there. But really, when you're talking with these people over the phones with your acquisitions for virtual wholesaling, this is some tips I can give you. Again, I said the Ford method. So FORD. Basically, in the Ford method, you just want to think of these things because you might get stressed, anxious talking to these sellers. You don't know what you're saying. You don't know what you're going to do. So think of it as acronym if you get like really stressed out. F is for family. Talk about the person's family, how their family dealing with selling the property, how they think about selling the property. Do you have a conversation with them about selling the property? O is for occupation. What do they do for a living? What does their family do for a living? Is their job going to change selling the property? Why are they looking to sell the property? R is for recreation. What do they like to do for fun? Are they big into fishing, sports? Are they big into watching football on Sundays? Like, what do they love to do? And then talk about it. The cool part about in actual physical wholesaling, when you're inside the house, you can see things. Maybe you see pictures of a house. You see something like a Dolphins helmet back there. You'd be like, oh, you're a big Dolphins fan. Just have conversations like that. Dreams, what they're looking to do in the future, what's their real goals in life, and really their goals for the future, especially on selling their piece of real estate. We won't be friends with these people, but we don't want to be like best friends with them. We want to really get in and out in the situation. And that's basically what we do there. So when it comes to the seller, so let's say you're doing your cold calling and you finally got a person, say, hey, John, are you looking to sell at 123 Main Street? And they say, yes. You're like, oh, you're looking to sell it. What? I cold called for 2 hours and everyone said no. You're saying yes. So most people go blank. They're like, what do I do from here? Like, this is kind of stressful. So what you want to do here is basically qualify the sellers by asking these 4 questions. So these 4 questions are the questions that I do to see if a lead, basically someone who has a piece of real estate they're looking to sell, if they're prime and ready for virtual wholesaling real estate or for wholesaling real estate at all. I asked these same 4 questions. These 4 questions have been asked by every single wholesaler, basically since Russ Whitney in like the 80s and the 90s. These are on all weird, like old wholesaling books I've been reading ever since I started this business. And basically, this has been the same 4 questions. I know wholesaling gurus like to say, I created these 4 questions. Guys, these questions have been asked ever since like real sales back in the day. But really, these questions were developed for wholesaling in the 80s and 90s. So unless you were 40 years old back then, you can't claim you invented it. But so the 4 questions here is you basically want to ask someone their motivation. Why are they looking to sell their piece of real estate? Why are they looking to sell it? What's their motivation for getting rid of the property? And it's a very good question to ask. It's the first one you should always ask. And basically from there, see why they're looking to sell the property. Next here is the condition. You can also build a report talking about motivation and condition and the next 2 questions, but conditions, basically, what is the status of the property? Is it in disarray? Does it need repairs? Does it not need repairs? Basically, that's what you got to ask. What's the condition of the property? And you can figure out pretty quick. You don't have to be the expert in real estate to really understand how to do this, but more or less, that is what I asked there. And then the next one is time frame. When are they actually looking to sell their real estate? Like, are they looking to sell within the next week, the next month? Do they have to get rid of this because they're moving in a new house in 45 days? Or is this something they're looking to sell down the road 6 months to 12 months, or maybe even 1 to 2 years? Very important question to ask. And then the most important question when qualifying your sellers in wholesaling real estate is the price. This should always be the last one you do, guys. But asking what price people want to sell their piece of real estate for is absolutely one of the best things to do, because you find out how much they want to get rid of the property for. And you got to pose it right. Usually I like to say, hey, how much you're looking to get out of this house. And that's a really good one to get. If you build the right rapport, you have the right conversation with the person, you can easily do it. I mean, it's pretty simple. So if you figure out, do the ARVs, you actually calculate how much the property's worth. And there's plenty of videos on there. If you want, I'll link those in the comments below on actually how to find out the value of a piece of real estate. So if I figure out the value of this real estate is $100,000 and a cash buyer is probably going to buy it for $90,000 to $85,000, and someone says they want to sell it for $50,000, yeah, that's pretty good. And so if I sell it for 50, I make $35,000, which is, that's an absolute dunk. So that's actually one of the best ones out there. So that's what I'd recommend. Just, hey, how much you're looking to get out of the property? Probably the best question to get out of there. But really, the best way to get the price out of the seller, because sometimes your seller is going to say, hey, I don't know how much this property is worth, or you give me an offer first. And so how do you actually get in that situation? How do you get out of that situation? So the best way to get out of that situation, in my humble opinion, is basically talk to them using the dollar strategy I kind of coined. So the dollar strategy is basically you ask John, say, hey, John, how much are you looking to get out of this property, or how much are you looking to sell the property for? And they say, Zach, I don't really know. Or Zach, you come up with the price. Okay, well, John, would you be open to me buying this property for like $100? No. Would you be open to me buying this thing for $1? And they would say no. Like, okay. Would you be open to me selling this? Would you open to selling it to me for $101? How about 200? And they're going to say, no, never. I'm like, well, that's my price. So basically, where are you at? Like, this is such a stupid low offer. Like, I don't like playing this game of like, you give me a price, I give you a price. I gave you my price. So what's your price? And then they'll reveal it pretty simply there. And like, it's kind of a joke, but it's a great way to get the price out of your seller for wholesaling real estate. And then when it comes to your actual offer, basically, let's say they come back and the property again's worth 100, cash buyer gave 85. They say, Zach, I really need to get 70 out of this. And obviously 70 is great. You make 15K on that deal, but why don't we want to make 30 to 45,000 or maybe 50 to 60? So what you're going to do here is another trick I do. It's actually called painting the picture and then giving the offer. So like Bob Ross, you paint the picture and then you give the offer. Rest in peace to Bob Ross. But basically to paint the picture, you say just, hey, John, if you were really looking to, move out of here, move to Michigan in the next 30 days, if everything was done for you really easily, look at this. I'm actually painting the picture for the seller. If, I got this all done for you, you got to go in Michigan 45 days. And I was able to pay all the closing costs. I mean, with $60,000, that's probably what I can do. And you basically paint the picture for them and they either say yes or no. You negotiate from there and you get the best price possible. Now, when it comes to actual agreement, they say, Zach, yes, that's great. They say it on the phone, fine, let's do it. Like, how do I do this? Basically, we're going to say, hey, I'm going to send you over via email a quick agreement for me to buy this property. Don't say contract, say agreement. And then from there, you'll actually send something to it. But basically, to get the contract that I'm talking about, again, you have to pay like a $5,000 course or Mastermind to get the stuff. Just go to www.flipwithrick.com/contract. From there, at www.flipwithrick.com/contract, you can basically download that contract absolutely for free. And it also comes with that assignment of contract absolutely for free. Again, I'm not a lawyer. I'm not a CPA financial advisor. So don't sue me, bro. But that is probably one of the best ones out there for it. So www.flipwithrick.com/contract is my free wholesaling contract. And basically from there, you download the contract. Use a service like DocuSign, Dotloop, or maybe even a notary if this person's like in their 80s and they don't know how to use a computer. There's no excuses out there. I've done that before. So basically what I do is just use a notary. 123 Notary is a great one out there to use, and then do it. Send the notary. From there, you're going to go on Craigslist, look for someone to take the pictures for you on the property. And what we're going to do is go to listrei.com. We're going to find someone who's willing to buy the piece of real estate. Basically, we want to just scrape all the sales from there, skip trace it, either SMS blast, cold call sometime, and then just go try to find a buyer from there. Or we go to Facebook and actually go in Facebook groups and find buyers. Plenty of videos on that. I have, if you put buyers space Flip with Rick on YouTube, all the buyer videos that you're ever going to want is on there. And let's see. And then from there, we're going to have our boots on the ground where they're going to walk to the property and take the pictures. If you didn't, again, that's through the Craigslist. What we're going to do, we're going to find a cash buyer and we're going to have them, that boots on the ground, walk through the property, take their pictures for you. And then what we're going to do, again, we're going to sign that contract, sell it. Again, go to www.flipwithrick.com/contract. From there, you're going to assign it for a profit. That assignment of contract should save you a lot of money and help you out the most in wholesaling real estate. And then boom, check, profit, repeat, do the same thing. So that is basically it. That's virtual wholesaling real estate. So without further ado, let's go get some questions, I guess, from the audience, people watching this, and see if there's anything that I missed or anything you guys want me to dive deeper in. I'd love to do it. I got plenty of time to do that today. So let's go over basically, let's get into some of the questions here. So what's up, Paul? What's up, Alexander? Awesome, Zach. Thanks. I smashed and subscribed. That is so sweet. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Awesome stuff. Thanks, Ralph. Thanks, Jared. You guys are absolutely amazing. Ira Pink, LOL. Yes, I do. Thanks, Zach Chief. That is sweet, sweet, sweet. Why are we putting like special things on colors? Like it's really stupid. So I think it's a cool color. Go from there. I think red's a cool color. I think blues are cool. All the colors are cool. How do I find a buyer for multifamily? This is virtual wholesaling. So if you're doing it virtually, listrei.com is probably the best one out there, I would say. But that's that free trial on the bottom there to actually do it. So what's up, Jason? How are you? From Virginia Beach. Jason, I think we've talked before. You're an awesome dude. Keep it up. Let's break bread in 2021, friends. That is sweet. Naples, again, I say it a million times, it's an amazing market. Comment below a market you want or think in virtual wholesaling. I'd love to go talk to you about it and see if this is something that I think is a good market or not. I talk to so many wholesalers out there. I could see if a virtual wholesaling market is good or not. So Columbus, Ohio is a good market. It's a little saturated. There's plenty of cash buyers in there. I think it's a really good one for virtual wholesaling. I have one, sweet, all good. Virtually in South Carolina. South Carolina for virtual wholesaling, we've done some deals there. It's a killer market. I think virtual wholesaling in South Carolina is really good. That western part's really good too. The eastern part's good too. Nothing crazy metro, but for South Carolina, virtual wholesaling, it's absolute killer. Can you get in trouble in cold calling and how to avoid it? Basically, with virtual wholesaling, yes. In cold calling, you could get in trouble for it. But if you do it wrong. So if you follow the TCPA, which is the Telephone Communication Protections Act, if you follow those rules, basically if you call within 8 to 8 to 8, yeah, 8 to 8, I think. I have to go look it up. But again, I'm not a lawyer, CPA, financial advisor, so don't sue me. But basically, if you don't get in trouble cold calling, cold call within those hours and respect people's privacy. So if they say they don't want to get called again, don't call them again, and you should not get in trouble with it. You get in trouble for doing, calling it like 4 a.m. or something crazy like that. So keep it in there. Don't use an auto dialing service. Auto dialing for like a machine thing to do actual call for you. You have to do a manual one like Mojo or Zen Call or something like that, but you should do really well. Los Angeles, I don't recommend virtual wholesaling in Los Angeles. If you live in Los Angeles, I recommend you get out there. The Southeast actually is really good for virtual wholesaling. Let me get the light on. See, is this the right one? There we go. A little brighter, but let's bring it down a little. There we go. And yeah, Los Angeles, I'd probably move it around a little, but no big deal. Wilmington, North Carolina, that's a hot market right now. Honestly, other areas in my state would be good. That's a really good one. If I don't know, even virtual wholesale, like that's a great like physical wholesaling market. I think it's an absolute killer one on there. So let's see here. Scrub DNC list. Yes, I do recommend you scrub the DNC list. Absolute, very important one to do. Scrubbing the DNC list, one of the best things out there. Zach, I have $1,000 and I've been wholesaling for 5 months. What in the bleep am I doing wrong? Okay, so Christopher, what I need to do is you need to break down what market you're in, what virtual wholesaling you're trying to do, what list you're pulling, the skip tracing you're using, and the marketing strategies, and basically your experience in sales. That's a hard question to answer. I need more like information about that. If I could like do a deep dive on that. Watching from Jamaica, beautiful country. I absolutely love Jamaica. I've been to Jamaica once, and absolute amazing country. The happiest people in the world are in Jamaica. I can tell you right now, in Jamaica, you could absolutely kill it in virtual wholesaling. Ronaldo, let me know what markets in the US you're looking to actually get into virtual wholesaling. That'd be really cool. I love Jamaica. I think if the internet's like really good there, I know some places have bad internet, but some places in Jamaica are like absolutely amazing. I think you do very well there. I think it's an absolute killer market. So let's get into some of these questions. Vacant, not absentee owner. So absentee owner could be someone who basically has a rental property. Absentee owners are more high quality real estate. So for example, if I own a rental property in Port St. Lucie, Florida, which I do, basically I'll get the mail forwarded to me, and I get the mail. So I would be probably on an absentee owner list, put for a vacant. I will not, because there's no crazy slip on there because I got someone living in the property. So vacants are a lot worse condition. That means a lot more money for us in wholesaling real estate. We can hear you, man. Just fine. Perfect. Mustache Mike, you're a G. Thank you so much. Really appreciate it. And Muelo Reyes or Mul O Reyes. Sorry, I'm butchering names today. That is literally all I do. But hey, man, how's it going? Really appreciate your support here on the channel. What's up? Like mentioned, sure to scrub your lists. I'm telling you, scrubbing your list is very important. SMSZach.com, do it for you. 500 texts for $1. And basically, we got that offer back. And pretty cool. So I got $1,000. I should be able to get a deal, but my market is hotter than this. Oh my gosh. I'm not going to say it. We're going to keep it PG-13 here because I know there's probably, I hope people are having their 6, 7-year-old kids hear this information, soak up some wholesaling knowledge. But we're going to keep it PG. We're going to keep it G-rated on this channel really quick. But that is absolutely hilarious. Phoenix is a lot tougher. Could consider wholesaling virtually in there, but it's crazy. It's a hot market, but I still think you can get deals there in Phoenix. Hey, Zach, when you cold call, what's your 10-second intro? There's no intro, straight to the point. Hey, are you the owner of 123 Main Street? Yes, I am. Hey, were you looking to sell your property at all? Were you looking to a cash sale for it? Easy as that. On the next one. Like I gun through them really fast. I don't do 10-second intros because if you waste 5 seconds with every single seller and you do, for example, 10,000 calls in a month and you waste 10 seconds, that's 100,000. No, you waste 5 seconds. That's 50,000 seconds you've been wasting on crazy intros. That's 833. Wait, hold on. I did my math there, right? So if you wasted 5 seconds on 10,000 calls, 50,000 seconds, 833 minutes. So in a month, you're wasting 13 hours of work. And basically, I was like, wait, 833? No. You're wasting about 13 hours of work every single month, which is a lot. And with those crazy intros. So I keep it short, simple to the point. I get a lot more done, and it's a lot more efficient. Bro, I apologize for not consuming more of your content. You're amazing, and thank you. Ray, there's no rush on consuming my content. Consume it as enough as you will, as enough as you guys want. I'm here to just give. And if you want to take it all, hey, take it all. If you want to take a little bit, take a little bit. I don't care. The only thing that will stay here is everything I do is recorded forever. So you don't have to worry about like, oh, I got to watch it. But the problem is I do a video every single day. So it's hard to catch up. So that is a problem, I guess. But yeah, that's why I feel like I do a lot of them recorded. They're a lot more high quality. You can tell with the camera angles, and there's no like crazy color grading or the lighting's not perfect on here. But the live's more real. I have the ums and the buts in here, and the editing is not perfect on it, but it's live, it's real, it's who I am, and that's who I am. Like I ain't gonna change for anybody. I don't sell coaching. I don't sell wholesaling courses for $5,000 out here. Like I ain't doing that stuff, and I keep it real. Hopefully, you guys appreciate it. If you don't, whatever, go pay for wholesaling education. But yeah, man, I really appreciate you're consuming this. It means the world. Your guys' support means everything to me. So I really appreciate it. How do you know what to offer? Ray, that's an amazing, first of all, that's an amazing name, Ray Panur. But how do I come up with the offer? I basically find the after repair value. Basically what it's called is the ARV. And from there, you just find out what the thing's worth. And you can do it through a million different ways. Again, should I get an hour on talking about this? Probably not. But the best way to actually find the comping is finding comps. So finding comparable properties in your area. So if you're dealing with a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, and it's 1,000 square feet, quick rule of thumb, look in that same subdivision. Your property appraiser or assessor site should have the same subdivision on there. And from there, you can find more or less other 3-bedroom, 2-baths within 1,000 square feet. Make sure they're in a similar area, so the same subdivision. That is actually how real estate appraisers do it. Also, make sure that your built is within 10 years. Like to keep it within a decade. Make sure the conditions somewhat similar to other comparables on there. Make sure the square footage is within 250 to 200 square feet within it, and make sure the construction's the same. and you don't do a log cabin with a mansion that's built out of concrete blocks. But basically, that's the best way to do it. Find comparable. So, hey, 32 is 1,000 square feet that aren't renovated or selling for, $100 a square foot. 1,000 square foot house, they're selling for about 100. My cash buyers are paying about 10 to 15% off discount. They're paying about $80,000 to $90,000 for this property. Now I know I got some room to play with, so maybe I'll offer 50,000. Try to make 40 to 30, 45, 35 to 40 on this day on this property. Boom, easy as that. That's kind of how I come up with it. Not complicated or crazy. Again, if you're doing crazy calculations, you're probably not making enough on the deal. I make no-brainer like deals. Like, hey, I'm going to make at least 30 on this. I'm going to bid this thing up. That's kind of how I do it now. Yes, I am very precise with it, but again, I have a lot of experience in the wholesaling industry, especially in my market. So I can kind of just get a property, spend like a minute or two finding out what the thing's worth. But it just comes with experience, getting better at it. But that's kind of my process of doing, especially when I'm starting out. I just spend a lot more time figuring it out, but I know every single cost of everything for like every zip code in Port St. Lucie just because of the experience I have. You missed how great of a teacher you are, bro. I thank you. I really appreciate it. It means a lot, man. I try my best to help. I feel like a lot of wholesaling like coaches and YouTubers out there. Okay, so this is weird to talk about, but let's say you're learning quantum mechanics. Okay, like this is why I like a great teacher. So a great teacher is like, what's his name? Neil deGrasse Tyson. He is one of the smartest men on the planet. And he could talk at a crazy high level. And if he's trying to talk about quantum mechanics in the universe to you, it's going to like be crazy, but like he dumbs it down to a level where like someone stupid like me can hear it and understand it and actually learn and enjoy it. What I'm trying to do is I can talk extreme high level 7-figure wholesaling, like super like big systems and stuff like that. But really it's too high level for a lot of people hearing it. And it's not going to help new people out here make $100,000 per year in wholesaling real estate. So I'll have certain videos where I go super high level, but I'll also teach at a level to help everyone out here. And the best way I become probably a good teacher in wholesaling, maybe okay teacher, a decent teacher, I guess, or average, is because I started out virtual wholesaling with no money. Oh, I had some money. Physically wholesaling with no money also. And I still remember when I had no money for wholesaling. Like I remember that. I remember I had no experience. I didn't know anything about houses or like conditions or repairs. And from there, starting from the bottom and bringing my way up, I didn't forget where I came from. And I knew exactly what it's like because I got a pretty good memory of where I started out. And I think I'm pretty good at helping people from that going up. And that's kind of what I'm doing. I think it's a lot harder going from 0 to 100,000 than 100 to 1,000,000. Way harder to do that 0 to 100. So that's where I'm spending a lot of my time trying to help everyone out in there. And then the 100 to 1,000,000, I do plenty of videos on that. That's a lot easier. But it's a different type of hard. Derek, great podcast. It's a live, but I might post this as a podcast. I think it might help people out. How would you invest a $1,400 stimulus check into your wholesaling business? Terrell, humbly, I am not qualified for the stimulus check. I didn't get any stimulus checks at all, but that was just because we made too much money in our business. But overall, if I had $1,400 and I'd basically, again, use that money for your family. Like, hey, if you got no money, you got no job, you got kids, spend that on like feeding your family and keeping a roof over your head. First of all, that's what I do. Now, if you get a stimulus check and you don't know, like that stuff taken care of, you don't have to worry about that. I would probably invest that into drawing for dollars and cold calling, but keep it very lean. I would maybe spend 200 of that, and that's it. Like I'm not big on like blowing all the money on crazy stuff. I would get into probably invest in like Mojo, maybe PropStream, listrei.com, start cold calling like crazy. I would probably skip trace a list, get a dialer, and cold call vacant leads. That's probably what I do. And I would probably spend any money I'd left over in gas for drawing for dollars. That's what I do. Okay. I'm going to say your name wrong. I'm so sorry. N Narafor Samuel Obina. Dude, I'm so sorry, or ma'am. But I'm really sorry for butchering your name, but I'm watching this all the way from Nigeria. Are you kidding me? Oh, that is so awesome. Nigeria, amazing country. I've never been to Nigeria. I will be there one day. I promise you that. Great country, great people. One of the best, like happiest people again is from Nigeria too. I love geography, learning about like other cultures and things, but Nigeria is a really cool place. Definitely want to go there, but hands down, Nigeria is a great country to actually get in wholesaling real estate. They speak a lot of English in Nigeria too, so I think it'd be a lot easier transition. Let's say you don't know any English and you're trying to cold call from like France, or they teach a lot of English in France too. Like let's say Siberia or something like that. So you're in a great position too. But Nigeria is they got actually great internet there in Nigeria. I think it's one of the best countries for like internet in Africa. So Nigeria is excellent. You could kill it there. I 100% believe in you. And message me if you got any questions at Flip with Rick on Instagram. Love to go help you out. Would you go over a wholesaling virtually in a video like you're actually closing a deal? That video is set for this month. Yeah. All these questions you've asked these questions before. I sat down behind the camera, I did them, and I made them as high quality as possible. The quality on this one's a little different than the quality in the other ones, and I made it as high quality as possible so you guys can watch it a billion times if you guys want. And so I'm working on that. Don't even fret about it. I got it. Don't even worry. How do you choose your market? That is an amazing question. I'm going to talk and ramble a little bit about because I actually have a little worksheet that I kind of created, and I'm going to share it with you right now. So bear in mind, don't exit this video, but I'm actually like popping this up as we're speaking here on my live. But basically, there's some rules you want to follow when finding the right virtual wholesaling market. I posted this on my Facebook, so I'm pulling that up right now as we're speaking. So I hate to give you guys all this crazy suspense. Your photos, it should be really quickly. I don't post a lot of photos, a lot of videos. Here it is. Okay. So let me go share it. This is the best way to like do it. So I might need to screenshot this. Screen share, Chrome tab, Facebook. Don't steal all my Facebook mumbo jumbo here, but basically from here, this is how to find a good virtual wholesaling market. And I posted this in August 13th, like right when I started my Facebook. But let's see here. I gotta switch the background on this. What do you guys like? No, to the leaves. But basically from there, you want to follow these rules. So you want to avoid major metro markets, Miami, New York City, LA, etc. San Francisco, I would avoid, but San Francisco, there's some guys out there. Shout out to like Jimmy Two and Jason Boozy, like those guys out there. They're making huge deals out there in San Francisco. Amazing market. That's an amazing market. Like if you were legit and you were absolutely like killer, you know what you're doing. You've been in that market like your whole life. Those guys can do it really well. A lot of guys struggle out there. But I'd still do like Oakland or something like that, but avoid like super metros, Miami, New York City, LA, and probably Chicago. I would do too. Avoid those. The other ones are good. Like you're like, but Atlanta's a big metro. Atlanta's a great wholesaling market. So it's those you want to avoid. You want to, number two here is find markets where other wholesalers are virtually doing deals. You don't want to reinvent the wheel here. If someone's doing really good in Charlotte, North Carolina, which there's absolutely amazing guys in Charlotte, North Carolina doing wholesaling deals, go to that market too. Boom. Easy as that, right? And then don't reinvent it. 3, I recommend also small to medium markets. So a $200,000 to $400,000 $200,000 to $400,000 population. Those are really good markets too. Absolute killer ones in the Southeast. If you find those little pockets in cities, you can absolutely do really well. Strike gold on a good market. Also, number 4 here is you want to make sure that there's a lot of cash buyers in that market. Use that list source or PropStream cash buyers hack, listrei.com. If you guys don't know what that is, comment below if you don't, or I can message me at Flip with Rick on YouTube and on Instagram, or message me Zach Ginn on Facebook, and I'll go just get you that link really quick. But basically, you do that, you find out how many cash buyers in the zip code would be really good. Number 5 here is metro markets with low rents like Detroit. Really good one out there. Also, small market with large rents are really good too, like Tulsa, Oklahoma. And large rents, I mean, you go to Biscayne Bay or Miami Beach, those are small, like there's still Miami, so it's big, but you really want to find small markets with relatively large rents. So that's kind of what we've kind of figured out and formulated, more or less. So that's it. So let's stop the share there. So hopefully a screenshot of that, and it's pretty interesting. So Alexander, Salt Lake City, bro, killer market. As a great one. It's a little saturated, but it's still an absolute amazing market for your virtual wholesaling business. Chattanooga, Tennessee, it's an amazing market. Chattanooga is a great market, that Eastern Tennessee area. Some really good guys out there. And if you need me, I can connect you with some really good guys out there that'll help you out. Maybe JV with you on a couple deals. But Chattanooga, that's a good one. Gary, Indiana is absolutely amazing one out there. Oh my gosh, guys, you are striking gold. How do you know what good market to wholesale? I could just talked about that. What do you think of Northport and Palm Bay? Those are like way too small. Like they're just way too small, in my opinion. Baltimore, Maryland, absolute killer market, but you got to be very careful with it. A lot of low price points on there and a lot of high price points. Are you talking about like Baltimore City or like the outskirts and like that whole like what's Baltimore's like county called? County. Is it Baltimore County? It's not. It is Baltimore County. Okay. That whole like Baltimore County area, because you could do really well doing that. Baltimore, sometimes the metro is a little harder than the outskirts, but you could make it work. I think it's pretty good. JD got me, Baltimore County. Very original name for the county, but okay. Let's see here. X O'Connor, when I got my first skip trace lists, I was a little overwhelmed with the 12 numbers per contact. Yeah, just do 1 through 3. Keep all 12 for references, but just do 1 through 3. That'd be the best one for you. Will you please go over how to interpret the skip trace list and what numbers used for SMS cold calling? Use phone number 1, 2, and 3. I don't do anything more. That's a waste of time, in my opinion. Derek Walker wants to know Broward County, Macon, Georgia, and Savannah. So, Broward County, cut that out. Sorry, not the best one for virtual. Macon, oh my gosh, Central Georgia is absolutely amazing. Savannah's good too, but the killer one in there is Macon. And I know the best virtual wholesaling markets. I don't give them all out. So if you give me a market, I'll tell you if it's good or not. But I also did a video coming in the next month. You guys are going to go wild that I'm going to say this, but I'm going to say it because you guys watching this live. I did a video on the top 10 virtual wholesaling markets of 2021. From top 10 to 1, the greatest ones out there, given out for free. It will come within a month. So all you coaches and gurus watching this, go do a video and then release it tonight and then say you did it before me and then I'm cheating you. I don't really care. I just announced this live, so I guess I beat everyone to the punch here, but I have a video on that. So stay tuned. Make sure you subscribe to this channel because that content's coming. And finally got edited. The editor gave it back. So we're all good on that one. So that should honestly post pretty soon. So pretty exciting. So Roland, what's up, bro? Hey, Zach, I have a property where the seller said it can't be sold because it never went through probate. How can I help them? And what would be my next steps? Basically, sign the contract and then help them go through probate. Get a probate attorney and connect you with them. Have them go through the probate and go from there. There's definitely money and equity in that deal. Chicago, avoid Chicago. Wholesaling is more or less illegal in Illinois. You can do one deal, but after that, you need a wholesaling license. And for Chicago, it's really not worth it. Let's see here. Been doing Baltimore for 3 months and got 2 deals. Wow. Congrats on that one. Absolute killer market. Sweet. Keep it up. Durham, North Carolina. I think it's a pretty good one out there. Pretty good. Anyone in Ohio? Ohio is really good for virtual wholesaling. Anthony says here, what do you recommend the best dialer for one caller and how much data a month is good enough? I would say the best dialer would be ZenCall. I like ZenCall. Basically, I'm looking at other dialers out there too. How much data a month? I think if you got 4,000 to 5,000 like skip trace phone numbers, you should do pretty good. I think that many properties, you should be pretty much filled up using like a ZenCall or something like that. Again, I don't know how many like hours you're cold calling with, but good day, Zach. Do you use any kind of addendum for purchase with the buyer seller? I live in Los Angeles, by the way. Yes, if I have to do it. Again, we got our own. For California, it's going to be a little different. What's up in Phoenix? What's up? Phoenix, great market. How do you invest your 1,400 stimulus check? Terrell, just answer that. So sweet. In Phoenix, using Batch, I have Mojo. I'm good with sales, really good. It seems the skip tracing is what get me. It's expensive. Yeah. Batch could get expensive. I think we're at 10 cents. But honestly, it's kind of expensive. I agree. So sometimes you got to do the true people search, do really niche lists. That might help you out. But what kind of list are you pulling? Let me know. I got to know because there's a lot of saturation in Phoenix. If you're not doing the niche, like super niche lists, you might not be doing the best. Gaming and hobbies nonstop. How come every list that I call people I've already contacted or annoyed? Even some of the niche lists. I'm in Minnesota. Yeah, I mean, you're probably in a more saturated market. I would recommend more or less you go for something like an evictions list, water shutoff lists, divorce lists, probates. I'd probably stick to that if everyone's dealing with it. But remember, for a motivated seller, especially in virtual wholesaling real estate, like they're going to get hit with multiple sellers. They take one time to call you and you got the right rapport, they'll go with you. And then it'd be simple as that. So that's what I'd recommend, hands down. I'm in Nigeria, but currently am I using Craigslist to get deals and focusing on Orlando market and working some deals virtually with a friend in the USA. Perfect. Orlando's a great virtual wholesaling market. Best way to find buyers in multifamily, listrei.com. We really do. Sweet. How do you not get numbers spammed on Mojo if there's no group or multiple caller ID? How to not get numbers spammed? You're going to have to switch up the numbers. That's probably the way that I'd recommend it. So let's go here. All right. How do we not get numbers? Oh, yeah, right. Definitely appreciate you, bro. I appreciate you. Thank you guys so much. Let's see here. When we have a buyer and title company is working on your deal, how do you handle communication with them and closing date? Do you do blind HUD? So some places do blind HUDs and some don't. Blind HUD basically shows the seller and the buyer not making an assignment and you're not getting a crazy fee on it. Pretty interesting. So the best way to handle the buyer and title company is use my assignment, www.flip30.com/contract. That's my free assignment of contract there. How do I handle communication is I call the buyer, I call the sellers, I call the title company, make sure we're all on the same page. Again, I provide a service where I help this motivated seller move out of the property for whatever date they choose. So we close when they're comfortable with closing. And that's basically it. I coordinate with the cash buyer and I coordinate with the title company. Easy as that. Make sure everything's good. For blind HUDs, some title companies do, some don't, depending on your state. Call your title company to see if they do or if they will even allow it. Alrighty. Lisa, how are you, Lisa? We appreciate your free service. I'm humbled. Thank you so much. Try to do everything I can do to help you guys out for free. That's the goal. Hopefully, I'm helping. If not, let me know if I'm not. Appreciate everything you do for us, bro. Ralph, I appreciate your support. Without your support, I'd literally be talking to nobody all day. I'd just be screaming in a microphone. And it's crazy people even watch this stuff. I think it's nuts hearing my crazy voice. But people do it. Hey, I guess I don't have a radio voice, but I guess I'm helping someone. If, people are, watching this. So I truly humble at you guys' support. I mean, we barely got like I don't even know, like maybe 30 views a day, like last year. It's insane. Do you do any on-market properties? Yes, very few. I'm not the biggest like on-market type dude for it. Any tools you use for comps? I use listrei.com for my comps. When assigning out a contract, do you show the buyer the original contract? After they agree on the price? Yes. I mean, if you're selling a contract, they got to know what the contract is, right? They got to know what they signed. So yes. Just joined in. Love the content you offer. Dylan, you are absolutely amazing. Thank you so much. I really appreciate the support. You are amazing. When assigning a contract to a buyer, do you show on the contract how much your assignment fee will be? Yes, always. It's if you go to www.flip30.com/contract, it'll be on there. It'll actually show you how to do it. And basically that's it. Question, if I can't find a comparable, should I use the average square foot price for a fixed up home in the area and go out that price? Yes, I would do a slight discount from there, but that's pretty good. This is tough, not easy. I'm more of a visual learner, but I will do my best to understand the knowledge you spread. Thank you so much. Come to Jamaica. I got to come back out there. It's an absolute party. It's amazing. It's a lovely place. Maybe the summer. Hey, we never know. But definitely there's internet there. I'll be doing lives. Don't even worry about it. And we got acquisitions people doing everything. So I can basically do this from anywhere in the world. So it's pretty cool. Derek Walker connected with me. I closed 3 deals in Macon. Sweet. I appreciate the gems you drop. What's the best dialer, Zach? I like Zen Call. People are going to kill me for it. That's what I use. So that's what I recommend. I could, tell someone to go use this one and, but I mean, that's what I use. So I literally just share. They don't offer a free trial, or I'd have a link for it. If they offer like a free something on it or, a crazy discount, but they don't. So Zen Call. If listREI.com never offered me a 7-day free trial, I would just say do PropStream. If Batch never gave out 500 texts for $1, which they're losing money on that, literally, Batch loses money every time they do that with me, but they know they'll give it because they like the free content I give. They're trying to help me out, so they lose money when they do that. Don't tell Batch that, but they do. So that's why I recommend. Well, I use them, so they let me do it. So promote it. What software do you currently use each month? PropStream dialer. So I use smszach.com for texting, listrei.com, listrei.com for the free trial, and then Zen Call as my dialer. Probates and code violations for pulling the list, though. Those are free too. There's really cool niche ones out there. You can't really pay for a service for that stuff, so I think it's pretty cool. Hey, Zach, is your reason for small to medium markets less competition? Yes, I want less competition and more deals. There's a ratio out there that nobody talks about. It's the deals per wholesaler ratio. So let's say in a given month there's 10 wholesale deals and there is 5 wholesalers. That's mean there's 2 deals basically for every wholesaler out there. Now, if you're a good wholesaler, you can probably get 5 deals and then leave the rest to starve. But basically that's the ratio I think of things. So there's 10 deals in a market and there's 5 wholesalers. That's a 2-to-1 deal to wholesaler ratio. And Arizona, like Phoenix, Arizona, that ratio is 0.5. And then somewhere like Charlotte, North Carolina, it's closer to 2.5. And then if you go somewhere like Macon, Georgia, that's at 3. So that's kind of how I look at competition and wholesaling virtual markets. Let me know if that makes sense. I can deep dive deeper into that. Nobody talks about this, but it's how many deals are out there versus how many wholesalers are actually out there doing it. Pretty simple, right? And there's some ninja ways I go about finding it for you guys. But basically that's the stuff that you even pay for courses you don't even get. They don't even talk about it. So love to expose these secrets out there. What's the best niche list? Probates, hands down, not even close. How do I go about an attorney closing company? Basically, you got to call around and find the best ones. Find out where other wholesalers are actually finding theirs and go from there. Let's see here. Is Minnesota a good market? Depends what city and area in there, but overall pretty good. Sweet, sweet, sweet. Can you do an owner finance deal on an existing loan? Yes. I absolutely love doing those. Baltimore County, sweet, sweet, sweet. How is Madison, Wisconsin for virtual and in-person? I would probably do some suburbs of Madison, but Madison's still pretty good, more or less. Round Rock, Texas. Never heard of that. That sounds pretty small. Let me look it up. Round Rock, Texas. Maybe it's in a good county. It's near Austin. Yeah, that Austin area is pretty good. Pretty fast growing pot. 124. Oh my gosh. Never even heard of that market. Interesting. I'll definitely look it up. That's probably pretty good then. Great content, Zach. Thank you. Los Angeles, do virtual. Virginia's a great one. Grand Rapids is a decent one out there. Detroit's a little better, but pretty good one. Ohio here. Ohio's absolutely amazing, Ryan. Great one out here. Williamson County, Texas to start. Williamson County. Let me look that up. Williamson County is, oh yeah, that's a good one. By Pflugerville. Yeah. Hands down. Louisville, that's actually a great one. I haven't heard that since last year, but Louisville, you're going to tell me if I'm right or not, but it's a great market. This guy's out there actually doing really well there. So that's a pretty good one. Are Dallas, Houston, San Antonio overrated? No, they're actually still pretty good. The deals to wholesale ratio is still good enough on there. How do I get the keys from the owner to view the property? I would get a boots on the ground, also known as a runner, to go out there and go in there, take pictures of it, and put hopefully a lockbox on there to do a walkthrough. After I get the contract, that's where I kind of need step by step what comes into it physically, the keys, lockbox showing. So basically from there, what you want to do, so you get the contract signed, pretty cool. Ask them, hey, I'm going to have my guy out here. He's going to put a lockbox on the property. Please put a key in there, and we'll have our partners go through the property. Then have them go through the lockbox, make sure they're trusted, make sure they lock it, take pictures, and then, you bring the cash buyer through and get it done. Simple as that. It's really not that complicated, Brandon. If there's any more questions on that, let me know. Love to answer it. Ray says, how to find good title companies. I recommend is you find other really good wholesalers in your market and see what title companies they're using, then use those. That's the fastest way to do it. If you want, you could call around all the title companies and then vet them, but that's a lot more complicated. Just find where the good wholesalers are doing it and then go from there. I had a deal where the buyer saw my assignment fee on the HUD and tried to renege on the deal. LOL. Oh my gosh. If you got to do it, do a double closing. But how much was the assignment fee? I'm kind of curious, but that shouldn't be their issue, but that's kind of crazy. Josh Anderson, what's the best practice for getting boots on the ground for inspections? Craigslist and Facebook Marketplace, or like for sale by jobs, little like jobs groups for Facebook in the local city or county is like really good. Say you have getting so many questions here. What's up? Say $3,000 to work with ZenCall, PropStream, etc. Where do you start? I would pull a list on listREI.com, skip trace with SMSZach.com, and then use ZenCall. What do you say if also on that one do vacants for virtual wholesaling? What would you say if you can't find comps? Lisa, go back to the a little bit before this. I kind of talked about that question before, but basically you just want to get the best. You can do cash flow comps if you can't. So basically find out how much the property will rent for. If it'll rent for $1,500, divide that by 1%. So 1,500 divided by 0.01 be worth 150. That's a cash flow comp. Closest thing I can do for that. Dude, appreciate all the videos you do. Coming from no background in real estate, I take away a lot. Just trying to be successful like you. Thank you, Ryan. You're absolutely made my day with that. Thank you so much. I really appreciate the support. All of you guys actually watching this, not even comment, you guys mean so much to me. I truly appreciate it. Absolutely means the world to me. Thank you so much. What's the best way to get started wholesaling with more than 3,000 in the bank and lots of analysis paralysis? I would say cold calling. The reason why I recommend cold calling so much is because you're doing cheap marketing, but you're also talking to sellers. You get better with practice. You're basically practicing on your sellers sometimes too. So the more you actually talk to sellers, the better you get. And if you put your 10,000 hours into this business talking to sellers, you make $100,000, not even a thought in the world of it. If you put your 10,000 hours into the craft, just say, hey, using $10,000, shooting basketballs or doing free throws, you'll get really good after 10,000 hours to be an expert at it. So it's the fastest way to get it done is through cold calling. Getting really good talking to sellers is through cold calling. Who pays for the title search and other fees when a buyer seller reneges basically because they don't like your assignment fee when they were transparent with them? Usually I just find another cash buyer. But basically if the seller reneges on you, we'll probably put an affidavit on there and then they won't have to pay for it. And then when that closes, I'll just get the title company. And I got good relationships with them, so they'll do it. Baltimore is crazy competitive. A lot of wholesalers in the area. Yeah. Much love, brother. Do you have to have an LLC in place to send out contracts? No, you can do it in your personal name. Like to keep it legally protected. I'm not a lawyer, CPA, financial advisor. I'm going to say it a billion, cajillion times because I'm not going to get sued for doing free videos on the internet. If I had courses and stuff, I guess it'd be better. But yeah, since I'm just doing everything for free, don't sue me. But I'm not a lawyer or anything like that. But or CPA tax guy, but LLCs do protect you a little more. That's why I do it. You can do it in your personal name also. I live in Las Vegas. Should I start wholesaling here? You said you should, but it is a bit saturated. I do some virtual and some physical ones and see where you're getting the good results from. Do drawing for dollars in Las Vegas though. Be pretty good. What's up? Cincinnati. I love it. Let's connect on Instagram. Sweet, sweet, sweet. Rogers, Arkansas. Never heard of that, but seems like a decent market. Let me go. Just curious. Arkansas is actually pretty good. The best place in Arkansas I found is actually sort of by Memphis. So that like what southeast part, pretty good. All right, let's see here. Outside of Springdale. Yeah. Oh yeah. North of Fayetteville. Great market. Yeah. Rogers all day. Winter Garden's pretty good. That whole area in Central Florida, killer, do really good. Appreciate you, Zach. Dude, I appreciate you. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Yeah, wholesale on the outskirts of Baltimore. Great, great, great. How do I find boots on the ground for virtual wholesaling? I've answered this before, but no big deal. Craigslist, and then people looking for jobs on Facebook. Really good. Eclair, Wisconsin, La Crosse, Wisconsin. That's a good one. You got. It's a little small, but it's pretty good. That more or less that like the deals to wholesale ratio is really good there. Alachua County, I'm assuming. Do Alachua County, not Alachua City. Alachua County is pretty good. You know, avoid everything by UF because it's a little expensive by there, by the stadium. But Alachua County, great market. Hopatong, New Jersey, good. Let me see where that's by. I don't know specific cities, but I know like counties. Yeah, Sussex County, pretty good. A little more competitive, a lot harder. Might want to get in virtual with that in the Southeast, but still pretty good. What's your equation for ARV? So my equation basically is what a cash buyer is willing to pay for it. So if I know basically my equation is different than the average wholesaler because I think a little differently. But I find out what the cash buyer is willing to pay for the property, and then I try to get the best price possible. Simple as that. So if I know the ARV is 200 and I know that it needs 50K in repairs, that's 150. And then I know that's what the thing's worth on the market. I just found out what the property's worth on the market. I'll multiply that by the discount my cash buyers are willing to buy the properties for. So if my cash buyers are literally out here, you know, buying things for 90 cents on the dollar, I'd go multiply that really quick because I'm really lazy right now. But 0.9 times 150 grand. So if I know 135 is what the thing's probably worth on the right now to a cash buyer, I'll see if the person's open to 80 for the property, but try to make 55. Never know. I always give lowball offers on the first one just because I try to get the best price possible. Our drawing for dollars list in Orange County good. Orange County, Florida. Don't do Orange County, California for that. It's not good. What are the top 3 nationwide title companies to work with? I recommend local ones. They're a lot more better. And they all use the same nationwide like title services. 17,000 assignment fee. He would be making 75K plus on the flip. Wow. Awesome. Keep it up. Keep it up. All righty. And then also I'm going to put this on here. All right. Best way to find cash buyers is listrei.com, listrei.com. What's a double closing? So basically a double closing is when you have a real estate closing, I sign the contract and then that's basically it. But what a double closing is basically where I'll actually close on the property so basically I'll close on the property. The seller doesn't see how much money I make or the buyer doesn't even see how much money I make. That's the cool part about it. And basically from there is the seller signs it. I actually buy the property and then I go in another room and then I sell it. So for that 15 to 10 seconds, I actually own that piece of real estate. You got to pay for transactional funding, which is a little more expensive on that deal, but nobody knows how much money you make on it. Pretty interesting. That's how you get around of like wholesaling being illegal too. So pretty cool. Do you use your contract for virtual wholesaling in most states? Yes, I do. When calculating repairs, if you have to make the property bigger, how we usually calculate that? I don't make the property bigger. And if you're making comps on making the property bigger, I wouldn't do it. So if you know repairs are $20 a square foot for 1,000, assume for a $1,500 one, it'd be 25 or something like a little more. Thank you so much. Thank you. I wholesale in Kentucky. Kentucky is an absolute amazing market. It's a good one out there. What do you use for inbound digital leads? Facebook's decent, but inbound digital, I do a lot of reverse wholesaling. Reverse drawing for dollars, which I'll talk about in a later video. Kind of coined that little marketing strategy, but I don't want to tease you guys too much in this video. But basically for inbound digital leads, nothing crazy. I know some guys do carrot sites, but nothing too crazy. Alrighty. Text versus cold calling. I recommend cold calling. Text is easier, but the ROI is not as good. But I do both. Trust me. Thank you for the killer help, brother. Thank you. Best way to find a buyer for multifamily. I already answered that. Men with facts after facts. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Do I need a lawyer for doing probates? It's probably best to have one. You'll be in a situation where you need a lawyer and you'll make 40K on a deal. So yes, I do recommend it 100%. Let's see here. I'm trying to get my Instagram on here so you guys can see me on there. How many contacts per day is good for your VAs? It really depends on how well they do it. So if they're working like an hour, I want to get in contact with maybe 30 to 40. But remember, it depends on what dialing service you're using. It depends what skip tracing you're using. It depends what list. Depends how good of a cold caller you got. There's so many variables on there. How good the phone number is. I hate using like raw numbers like that. How do you put an LC name on the signature section of a contract, or would you have to sign her name? Put my name, and then I put Zachary Ginn for Cincinnati LLC. That's kind of how I answer it. Portland, Oregon, rough market. Get another one. What is an affidavit? An affidavit of equitable interest basically protects your stake in a deal. So basically, if the seller wants to more or less not want to go with you after they figure out that they probably might get more on the deal, they'll try to back out. If you have an affidavit, basically it states that before you close in, I have an equitable interest in the property and I have the right to close in this and nobody else. That's a really, really general way to say it. And I'm definitely not saying the 100% correct way, but the most dumbed down way to say it was that. So that's it. It protects you, and it means you make some money on the deal and you kind of protect it. It's kind of insurance on your deal. If you don't have a contract or a deposit, don't do it. But if you do, talk to a lawyer and get it done. It'll protect so many deals you do. What do you mean by HUD? A HUD is basically a financial statement short for housing and urban development. But those are the financial statements in a real estate transaction, more or less, that basically shows how much money you actually make in the transaction, how much are the fees. Basically, it's an accounting statement showing at the end of a real estate transaction. Christopher, what's up? Can I put a property under contract if there's a tenant that needs to be evicted? Yes, you can. I reckon the tenant gets out, but you can actually wholesale a property with the tenant in it. You'll probably need to get a bigger discount on the actual buy side and the sell side, but you still do it. Best way to find a buyer for multifamily. Oh my gosh, I just answered that, Emilio. But yes, the buyers with listrei.com. Do you have a list or know of one with accurate title company only states? There's no list of accurate title companies. Do you have a list or know of one with accurate title company? No, every market's different. That's what I would say. Ivan, thank you so much, Zach, for answering my questions. God will continue to bless you. I am blessed beyond stress. So I am more blessed than anything. So I don't know how you can be more blessed, but it's all about perspective in life. And everything's absolutely amazing right now. So I am truly appreciative of everything. How would you compensate an agent who looks for on-market deals fit on cash offer to wholesale properly? I'll give them, $5,000 if it's a really good deal, or I'll give them like a 3%. I don't really care. How many hot zips do you recommend? As many hot zips as you can. If there's a hot zip code, a lot of cash transactions, pretty good. Are you in New Jersey? No, it's a little too saturated for me. What's the process with sending deals out to your buyers? We'll do an email, SMS blast, and we'll basically cold call it like our top guys on there. Do I need a price or ask the cash buyers for how much they'll buy it for? And then would I negotiate with them? So do I name a price for the cash buyers? Yes, but make it like super high and then negotiate it down because you don't want to leave anything when it comes to that. So that's the best way to do it. But knowing how much your cash buyer is actually going to pay, probably the best one for virtual wholesaling. So more or less, just I would figure out how much of a discount your cash buyers are actually giving you. And so if they're buying 90 cents on the dollar, then do list it for like 92 cents on the dollar and try to go from there. That's my best recommendation on there. But Talik, I've been trying to convince my brother and cousin to look into wholesaling. Any advice? Show them how much money there is to make. You start wholesaling, you start getting checks and showing them how much you're making, they will be coming at you. Trust me. McKinney, Texas is a great wholesaling market. Absolute amazing one. Is there any hard money lender that will cover the entire purchase and price of rehab costs? Yes, there's plenty out there. Facebook's probably the best way to find them. So for a closing attorney state, do I tell them that I have a contract in hand and that I will be assigning it? And then what is the next step once I find a buyer and what to do with the contract? Deal with the closing attorney or the closing attorney company or the title company with that, and they'll help you coordinate it. Two great title companies that operate nationwide are Clothesline Settlements and Fidelity. Yeah, they're pretty good. I have local ones, but those are really good ones. RK Cherie, what's up? How are you? Always showing love on the Facebook group and everything. Thank you so much. Sweet, sweet, sweet. Let's see. I live in Waco, Texas. Good place to wholesale locally as well as yes, hands down. Great one. What's your formula for rehab costs? I basically talk to contractors and ask them how much it'll cost to replace the flooring, basically replace, holes in the walls, things like that. And they'll give me basically a nice formula for it. There's no secret formula. Every market's different for rehabs. So you're going to have to actually kind of figure it out. But more or less, I think the best formula is to get experience on how much things cost to change and call contractors and ask for a 2,000 square foot. How much would it cost to replace this kitchen, bathroom? Call a flooring guy, call a carpet guy. It's not as sexy as the crazy easy formula, but there's no easy solution. You just got to go figure it out and, find how much the rehabs and formulas are for yourself in your local market. I have a house under contract for $70,000. Needs 10,000 repairs. Will be rent ready. Similar one selling for $140,000, which my list price be. Okay. List it for what? If there's similar stuff for $140,000, do it. List for $129,900. See what happens. Why not? Yeah, that's crazy. What $129,900 or $139,900 and just figure it out. It's not that complicated, and I would just try to bid it up. I think you're in a hot market right now. You can do very well. How do you get over the fear of cold calling? Action. That's the best way to really explain it. The more you do it, the less scared you're going to be. There's no secret. There's no pill you can take, and you're ready to go out and doing it. Just going out there and doing it. Action is the only thing. Your fear of not getting a real estate deal has to be greater than your fear of cold calling. And until that happens, you will not cold call. Simple as that. Your fear of not changing your life has to be greater than your fear of cold calling. Have that fear of not making any money be more, and then it'll change. Ivan Wilmington, I think we've answered this one, but yes, great one out there. How do you run comps for multifamily? Basically, you do it off of cash flow and cap rates. Do I just do all Bed Bath combined, run comps based on? No, I do it on cash flow. Ivan, are you in Wellington to live there? Sweet, sweet, sweet. If Bachelors gets 3 phone numbers and I'm using a dialer that dials 3 people at a time, how do I prevent calling the same person? Using the right dialer, it won't do that for you. So don't worry about that. Mojo's really good at that too. Do you have any on-market deals using the double dip method? Florida, that's illegal to do, so no. But in other states, yes. What's up? We love you, bro. Thank you so much. Blessed beyond stressed. I love it. My only problem is I do set the 0.7 method. I'm not getting anything accepted. Please help. Because the 0.7 method's stupid. That's it. Whatever guru you're paying for, he created that system in 2004 and he hasn't changed it. And everyone's been copying the same one. It doesn't work. That's why I don't do it. I'm actually in the trenches here doing 7 figures in my wholesaling business. I'm not scared of saying it. I do it. And so my method is what I use, and because I actually get deals done. A lot of these guys spinning out the 0.7 method haven't wholesaled the deal in 4 months. But mic drop. It's true. You'll be shocked at the amount of wholesaling guys on YouTube that are big that don't do a lot of wholesaling deals, or they are more inflated than they seem to do. And they'll give you methods that don't work because that's what worked in 2004 when they started, or in like 2010 or even 2015. They don't change their stuff. Their content stays the same. And that's it. That's why my content changes, because I'm actually in this business doing it every day. That's basically it. You need to up the offers because prices have gone up. Simple as that. I'm a realtor, so I can do comps locally. What best sites do you use in other states? ListREI.com is the best one. Realtor.com's probably my favorite for comping. Way better than Zillow. Oh yeah, ZenCall 12 line dialer. You know it. What's top 3 virtual wholesaling markets? I have a video on that. Not going to reveal it, but they are all basically in the Southeast. That's what I can say from now. I think Macon, Georgia will be in that top 10 list. And there's some other pretty good ones, but some in Texas, some in Georgia, some really good ones out there though. Holla Holla from Dallas. Dallas is a great market. Can you do a detailed video on your text message breakdown? Basically, you're on YouTube, so let me go find the link for you. I did a whole hour on it, and it's really good. It does all my stuff, all my ad copy, everything like that. So SMS flip, Rick, and let me get the link right here. How do I copy this? Yeah, right here. And All right, so Trail, that's the link in there. Screenshot there on Facebook, that's the one right there. All righty, let's go to the next one. Colorado Springs, pretty decent one. Not crazy, but still a really good market. I think it's really good. You're welcome, bro. Sweet. How do I find partners to JV with? Go to Wholesaling Houses for Real on Facebook. That would be the best place to do it. That is my free wholesaling mastermind. I go live every Friday, usually at 6:30. I didn't have one last week because I was out of town, but this week's gonna be on Sunday. But after that, it'll be every Friday about basically 6:30. We basically do a mastermind call all together. I'm not the host guy on there. People would say I am, but I just coordinate it and try to help people out. It's basically the biggest real estate investing association in the country, and pretty proud of it. Wholesaling Houses for Real on Facebook. La Crosse, Wisconsin, yes, very good. Rochester, a little less decent, but La Crosse is way better. What I meant is, how do you factor rehab when you're wholesaling virtually? Since I'm looking to wholesale out of state, since I live in New York City, how do you factor rehab? Whatever the cost is to rehab it. So it needs $30,000. It needs $30,000 in repair. That's it. What the property's worth right now, minus you get the ARV, minus the repair cost, the rehab cost, and then multiplied by the cash buyer discount, usually 90%. And that's what the property's worth. And then from there, we can reverse engineer how much we're going to make on it. Is it possible wholesale in the military? Yes. If you have enough time, you can. And you got a good internet connection. That's what virtual wholesaling is all about, baby. Thanks for the question, Joshua. A lot of people in Baltimore. Why is everyone from Baltimore in this right now? That's a pretty cool. Brandon, watch the replay of this live on YouTube. It'll be on there. Basically, it's pretty cool. Is a CRM important to you? I know Brent Daniels says not really, but what's your opinion on which CRM would recommend starting off an automated spreadsheet? Tablets. Podio is absolutely for free, and I have a free one on there. I'll post that one also if you're watching this. So it's basically a free Podio guide. Copy the link address here. So go here. That is my free Podio setup guide. Almost got like 7,000 views. It's literally insane. Let me find this question. So many questions. I got to find it. Yeah, so basically that's it. It'll go over everything. You do it absolutely for free. If it's free, why are you not going to do it, right? You need earnest money deposit to make the contract legally binding. More or less $10 if you have to, if you got no money. So what are your advice to keep yourself safe if you cannot find a cash buyer? Unfortunately, backdated deals by closing date. Find a cash buyer. That's basically it. Literally, if you have a good enough deal, then the cash buyer will come, and you just got to find a cash buyer. You go on Facebook enough, you will find one. Trust me. 0.7. Yes, the 0.7 method is whack. Trust me. People you're not going to get a 70% discount on a $400,000 house. That means your minimum profit on every deal is going to be $50K. Those guys that will say, this is the 0.7 method. This is the 0.7 method. This is what I do. And they haven't done any deals in 4 months. And they'll go get one deal for $5,000. I made $5,000. You didn't use the 0.7 method. Use your own method. It's killing me. The 0.7 method is basically ARV minus repairs multiplied by 70%. It's the most you can offer on a property. So in Port St. Lucie, Florida, on a $300,000 house, if it needed 20,000 in repairs, that's $280,000. Multiply that by zero point 0.7. That means on a $280,000 house that a cash buyer would be willing to pay $252,000. The most, so what is it? I say 280.7. The most you can offer is 196 on that. Are you kidding me? And if a cash buyer is willing to pay 252, so if I can't make $56,000 on the piece of real estate, then that's the most I'll like. If I'm making 55, hey, that's way too high for me. You're going to get absolutely slaughtered in wholesaling real estate by doing this 0.7 method. Come on. It's like, hey, I'm going to make 10. I'll put this thing under contract for 240 if someone's willing to pay 250 for it. I hope that makes sense. Like, guys, these gurus out here, they're giving you fake stuff from 2010. Like, it doesn't work anymore. They're not doing wholesaling anymore. Like, I get fired up on this because they are not actually doing this stuff for real. I do wholesaling for real. That's why I'll give you the real stuff. Like, it's crazy how wholesaling was before I came in here. Like, I'm trying to change everything up on this education side on it, but it's crazy. So it's ARV minus repairs 0.7. It's the stupidest thing I've ever heard in my life. I don't know who created that, but I think it's really stupid. It worked in 2005. It is not 2005 anymore. We have iPhones now. We have internet. We're going to Mars. Like, come on. It ain't that anymore. Like, oh my gosh. It's like the Backstreet Boys aren't back. Like, this ain't 2005. Like, seriously. Do you have a video on your method? I don't think I have one. I got to make one. I think I do. Go to ARV space flip of the brick. It'll be on there. ARV space flip of the brick. That's basically it. Close so many deals not using the 7. Oh, I guess you'll never be a good wholesaler then. So it's so funny. Ray Panur, the 0.7 method is stupid. Basically, my method is you find out what the ARV is, then you figure out what the repairs are, and then you multiply that by 0.9 to 0.85. That's about a discounted cash buyer is willing to pay for a property. And then from there, you'll figure out that turns into 100,000. You know, hey, even at 95, I'll make 5K. That's the most I'll do. And then from there, I'll try to get something, for 40 and try to make 50K. Simple as that. What is your MAO method? Just answered that. Zach and Rick are the best. I get access to the MLS, so getting the ARV is not the problem. I don't know what to offer to the seller. Go for no. Offer the lowest price you possibly can without getting kicked out of the house. Simple as that. Have them give an offer. That's way better. Because you never know what their bottom line is. If your bottom line, the thing's worth 150 and you offer 100 and they say yes to the 100, maybe you could have made 60 or 70. I've had those deals before. And you offered 100 and then you got cut out. If you asked them, they'd say, would you take 85? And you get something signed for 80 and then you make 70K. Like, have them give the offer first. If you have to, do it so embarrassing low so you get the most profit possible. It's embarrassing to say, but when you make those crazy big checks, it's worth it. Seattle, no, not a good market. Good market. Frederick is decent. Anyone to link up in Maryland, hit me up. Sweet, sweet, sweet. Orlando's a pretty good one. The Backstreet Boys aren't back. It's true. You're the best, Zach. Special place in heaven for you, bro. Thank you so much, Brandon. You're an absolute monster. Thank you so much. Monster in the best way possible, if that makes sense. You're a beast in wholesaling. So I truly believe in all you guys. So that's it. That's virtual wholesaling real estate. I really appreciate the support you guys giving us at the channel. Let me check here. Let's check the official numbers here. While I'm talking, let's go look at the official numbers. Oh my gosh, look at this. Oh my goodness gracious. Let's go. Let me go share this really quick because this just happened live. So while I was watching this just happened live. So this is actually pretty exciting to share. Look at this. Look how crazy this is. Let me share this really quick. Look at this. What does that say right there? 6,000 subscribers. Oh my gosh. I was at 5.9 starting out, and now we hit 6. Let's go. Oh yeah. Oh my gosh. That is absolutely amazing, guys. Oh my gosh. You guys are the absolute best. Thank you guys so much. I truly, that's so cool. I got this. We hit this live. That's pretty cool. Thank you guys so much for the support. That's sweet. That just made my day again. Sweet, sweet, sweet. Makes me want to go wholesale more real estate, honestly. But that's it. Quick questions here. Oops. What zip codes are you working? St. Lucie County. If a house is worth 100 and needs 20K in work, what would you offer? Really quickly for you. 80 times 0.9. That means a cash buyer more or less pays 72 for it. So basically, I would offer them 30 grand. Hey, how much can you get out of the property? What if you're able to get, what if I was able to pay all the closing costs, get everything done for you, and I was able to give you 30,000 for the house? That's it. Awkward silence. See if they say yes or no. Go from there. Negotiate. If you're paying 72, we agreed at 50. Make what, 22K? That's good money. I ain't saying no to 22K. Are you kidding me? 6,000. Sweet, sweet, sweet. What are your thoughts on Georgia? Georgia's absolutely amazing market. All of Georgia's really, really good. Thank you, Chief. Congrats. Thank you. We're hitting 10,000. Bro, JD, you already know we're hitting that. Like, not even a question, because the amount of awesome people watching this is absolutely amazing. Thank you so much. Oh my gosh, you guys are like the best. Denver, Colorado, I would avoid that. It's growing too much. It's a little crazier. Colorado Springs is a little better. Need it at that most of the time. You need to sell your deals to cash buyers, not hard money lenders. Guys are using hard money to buy real estate. Guys are actually paying for cash. That's it. Thank you guys so much. I really appreciate you guys watching this. Your support means everything to me. Thank you so much for 6,000 subscribers. Probably going to call Rick. So be pretty cool. So actually, let's call Rick live here. Let's see if he can answer me here. Let's see if we can call him live and tell him. I'll do this on the thing. Let's see if he answers his phone. Let's go see if he answers it. Let's see. All right. Hello. He didn't answer it. No big deal. But I'll go tell him really quick, give him a text, and that's it, guys. So thank you guys so much. Really appreciate the support. If it means anything, hit that like button and subscribe. Thank you guys so much. Have a blessed